20 quadratic equations. You're on autopilot by problem 5. By problem 15, you're barely reading the questions. Your hand just moves. Plug in, solve, next. Plug in, solve, next. You finish in 20 minutes and close the textbook thinking, I've got this. I actually understand quadratics. The exam. Question 1 isn't labeled quadratic equations, it's just a word problem. You stare at it. Is this quadratics? Or systems of equations? Or factoring? It could be any of them. And suddenly, you realize you don't even know how to start deciding. You solved 20 of these problems 2 days ago. You got them all right. So why does your brain act like it's never even seen math before? Okay, I need to tell you what actually happens in my head the night before an exam. Because it's embarrassing. All right, I did all the practice problems. I got most of them right. I even redid the ones I got wrong. I definitely know this material. So why do I feel this pit in my stomach? Let me just redo a few more from chapter 7. Okay, yeah, I can do these. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Tomorrow will be fine. And it's never fine. I walk in confident and walk out devastated. Every single time. And I genuinely can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. Because I am practicing. I'm doing the exact problems the teacher assigned.
I still do this. Not with math, but I was learning a new coding language last month. Ran through the tutorial exercises perfectly. Every chapter's problems. Nailed them. Then I tried to build something from scratch, and I couldn't even figure out which tool to reach for. The exercises never made me choose. And that word, choose, is the key to everything. Something very specific is happening during homework that creates a dangerous illusion, and your textbook is in on it. Let me show you something. Look at any textbook homework section. Chapter 7, Quadratic Equations. What kind of problems do you think are in it?
Quadratic equation problems.
Exactly. And that's the entire problem. Before you even read problem number 1, you already know the strategy. It's quadratics. The chapter told you. This is called blocked practice. Most textbooks do it this way. You practice 20 quadratic problems, then 20 factoring problems, then 20 linear equation problems. And during that entire time, you're practicing only one thing: how to use a strategy. You never once practice the hardest part,
which is
how to choose which strategy to use. Think about it. On homework, the section heading does the choosing for you. On the exam, there's no heading. Every problem could be anything. And that's the skill your brain has zero practice with.
So I've been practicing the solving part, but I never practiced the identifying part.
A researcher named Doug Rohr put it perfectly. He said, with blocked practice, students can solve a word problem without reading any words. The chapter heading already told them what to do. They don't need to think. They just need to execute. And here's where it gets really interesting. These two types of practice don't just produce different results. They feel different in your body. And that feeling is exactly what tricks you. Think about the last time you did a set of identical practice problems. The ones from one chapter. Remember how it felt by problem 10 or 12?
It felt smooth, like a rhythm. My hand just moved. I barely had to think.
That's the glide. Relaxed shoulders, flowing pen, easy breathing. Your brain interprets that smoothness as proof you're learning. It feels like mastery because your body is relaxed and moving efficiently. Now imagine doing the same number of problems, but every problem is a different type. Quadratic, then factoring, then graphing, then back to quadratic, then a word problem.
That sounds awful. Like stop, start, like hitting speed bumps.
Exactly. And you can feel it. There's a micro stutter in your forehead every time you switch. A slight clench in your stomach as your brain goes, wait, what kind of problem is this? Your shoulders tighten. Your pen pauses. And here's the brutal irony. When practice feels easy because the problems are predictable, that comfort is often masking a gap. And when practice feels harder because you're forced to choose between strategies, that discomfort is often where the real learning happens. Every time your brain stutters and has to ask, what kind of problem is this? That's the discrimination muscle being built. The one the exam actually tests.
So the practice that feels like mastery produces failure. And the practice that feels like failing produces mastery.
Welcome to the cruelest trade in all of learning. Think about the last time you practiced something. Homework, a language app, flashcards, anything. Were the problems sorted by type? Did you always know what you were about to practice before you started? Now notice what's happening in your body as you realize the answer is probably yes. That slight sinking? That's not failure. That's the pattern clicking. You just caught the pre-sorted practice trap in the wild. And this pattern doesn't just live in math homework. Watch.
The AI sorted for them. The exam didn't. Memorized every symptom. Couldn't diagnose the patient. Played every scale. Couldn't read the music.
Same illusion. Every one. They practiced the execution, but they never practiced the selection. And in every real test, exams, conversations, diagnoses, performances, selection is the test. And this isn't a subtle effect. It's dramatic. Cognitive scientists Kelly Taylor and Doug Rohr gave 4th grade students the same math problems, same number, same difficulty. The only difference was the order.
And the blocked group did better on homework, but worse on the test.
The blocked group, the ones who practiced one type at a time, scored 38% on the exam. The interleaved group, same problems, just shuffled, scored 77%, nearly double.
Same problems, just shuffled.
And at the university level, it's even more striking. Physics students who did interleaved homework, same problems, just mixed across topics, showed median improvements of 50 to 125% on surprise tests. And here's the part that makes this a genuine trap. The students who benefited most from interleaving consistently rated it as more difficult, and they believed they learned less from it. They preferred the blocked practice, the one that produced worse results, because it felt better.
So my confidence during practice is the signal pointing in the exact wrong direction.
When practice feels easy because the problems are predictable, that comfort is often the illusion doing its work. Cognitive scientists Robert and Elizabeth Bjork call this a desirable difficulty. The difficulty isn't a bug, it's the entire mechanism.
But okay, wait. If I shuffle everything, I'm going to get them wrong. Like, a lot of them. And I'm going to sit there feeling stupid, staring at a problem I can't even categorize. Just stuck. For minutes. That's not learning. That's just failure with extra steps. And honestly, it's not even the grade. It's the feeling. When I do the chapter problems in order, I feel competent. I feel like I'm keeping up. If I shuffle them and I can't do half of them, what does that say about me?
That's the most honest thing you've said. And I feel that too. Every time I try interleaved practice, part of me wants to quit and go back to the comfortable order. Because the comfortable order tells me I'm smart. The mixed order tells me I have gaps. But here's what's important. 2 things. First, nobody's saying you should interleave from day 1 on a brand new topic. When you first learn a concept, you need focused practice to understand the procedure. Second, blocked practice teaches you how to do the method, but interleaving teaches you how to recognize when to use it. The trap isn't blocked practice itself. It's only doing blocked practice and stopping there. The blocked practice taught you how to use the wrench. The interleaved practice teaches you to recognize when the job needs a wrench versus a screwdriver versus pliers. You need both. But most people do the first and skip the second.
So it's not blocked practice is bad. It's blocked practice is incomplete.
Exactly. And the moment you stop blocked practice is the moment most people close the textbook and say, I'm done. That's the pre-sorted practice trap. You quit at the point where the real learning is supposed to begin. And that feeling of being stuck on the mixed problems? Those gaps aren't evidence you're stupid. They're a map of exactly what you still need to learn. The blocked practice hid the map. The shuffle reveals it.
So I'm not bad at exams, and I'm not bad at studying. I've just been finishing my practice right before the part that actually matters.
That's the pre-sorted practice trap. Your homework did the hardest cognitive work for you. The sorting, the categorizing, the choosing. And your brain counted that free ride as evidence of understanding.
And I can feel the difference now, can't I? That smooth glide during homework wasn't mastery. It was the absence of the one struggle that actually builds mastery.
Yes. The next time you're doing practice problems and it feels effortless, that flow, that rhythm in your hand, pause. Ask, do I know the strategy because I understand it or because the page told me? If the answer is the page, you're still in the sorting facility. You haven't left the conveyor belt yet.
So the choosing part, the part that feels like I'm failing, that's not the obstacle, that's the actual workout. The whole time, that's the entire workout.
And homework has been skipping your leg day for your entire academic life. So here's the experiment. It's called the shuffle. And here's the irony. You're going to use the exact tool that usually traps you.
AI?
AI. After you finish your assigned homework, the blocked set from one chapter, open ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever you use, and give it this exact prompt, the shuffle prompt. Give me 15 practice problems mixed randomly from Chapter X, Chapter Y, and Chapter Z. Don't label which chapter each problem comes from. Don't group them by type. Just give me 15 unlabeled problems in random order. Copy this, fill in your chapters, hit send.
So the AI that usually does my thinking for me is now forcing me to think harder?
Exactly. You're turning the crutch into a coach. The AI isn't solving the problems for you. It's removing the labels that made homework feel deceptively easy. It's creating the desirable difficulty your textbook was never built to give you. And here's the part I really need you to pay attention to. When you hit the first problem and you don't immediately know the strategy, that moment of, wait, what is this? Where does it show up in your body? Forehead? Stomach? Chest? That sensation, that stutter, that micro-frustration, don't fight it. That's the discrimination muscle engaging. That's the part of your brain that barely has to work during blocked practice, suddenly being asked to carry the load. It's supposed to feel like this. Close your eyes for 5 seconds. Imagine sitting down to a mixed topic problem set with no labels. Where did you feel that first? The resistance, the slight dread, the I don't want to pull. Put your hand there. That sensation is your early warning system for the pre-sorted practice trap. When practice feels too comfortable, that's not competence. That's the conveyor belt doing the sorting for you.
But what if I get most of the shuffled problems wrong?
You probably will. I did this with my coding exercises last month. Shuffled 3 weeks worth of different problem types into one set. My accuracy dropped from maybe 85% to around 50%. I wanted to quit after problem 4. My whole body was screaming, go back to the tutorial order. But the next time I had to write code from scratch, no tutorial, no labels, just a real problem, I could actually choose the right approach for the first time because I'd practiced choosing, not just executing.
The sorting is the learning.
The sorting is the learning. And it starts with one prompt and 15 shuffled problems. That's it. Not an overhaul, not a new system. One prompt, 15 problems. Notice the body sensations. Notice the stutter. And know that the stutter means it's working. Or if you're old school, grab problems from 3 different chapters, write them on separate pieces of paper, and physically shuffle them. Sometimes the analog version makes the scramble feel even more real. Your call. Here's your field report this week. Try the shuffle once. Use the AI prompt or the paper method, whichever you'll actually do. 15 problems from 3 different topics. No labels. Then notice 2 things. What did your body feel at the first unlabeled problem? And how did your accuracy compare to when the problems were sorted? Drop your report in the comments. Did the stutter show up? Where? And did you catch yourself wanting to sort them back into order? And if this pattern sounds familiar, it should. 3 illusions. Rereading fakes the knowledge. Homework fakes the readiness. AI fakes the struggle. Same empty tank. You're not bad at exams. You're not stupid. You're not failing. You've been practicing on a sorted conveyor belt and wondering why the unsorted real world feels impossible. Now you know. The sorting was never the warm-up. It was the main event. And one AI prompt with 15 shuffled problems is enough to start training for it. One tiny aha at a time.